Asgard was prepared. The threat was known. Its arrival had been predicted early. Containment plans were drawn in advance. Alliances were secured. Defensive lines were reinforced. Risk was mapped. Outcomes were projected. Probability narrowed. Then, it stopped narrowing. Silence. The collapse did not begin with fire. It began when prediction stopped creating control. To understand what failed, we need to look at what Asgard actually was, not as a mythic kingdom, but as a system built on foresight. Asgard was not merely powerful, it was informed. Authority was centralized. Decision-making flowed from a single interpretive core. Knowledge, especially prophetic knowledge, was treated as a strategic asset. Stability did not come from force alone, it came from anticipation. If a threat could be seen early, it could be shaped. If it could be shaped, it could be controlled. This created an asymmetry. Asgard believed it knew earlier with greater clarity than any adversary. That belief formed the spine of its stability. Predictive advantage was not supplementary, it was foundational. The prophecy of Ragnarok did not introduce danger. Danger already existed. What the prophecy introduced was certainty, and certainty changes systems. Before the prophecy, threats were external variables. After the prophecy, the future became a fixed coordinate. Awareness altered behavior. Decisions were no longer reactive, they became preemptive. But preemption is not neutral. When a system acts on a forecast, it exposes itself to that forecast. Prediction creates visibility. Visibility creates adjustment. Adjustment reshapes probability. The system gained new information, and that information began reshaping the system itself. One risk vector stood out. Fenrir. Identified early. Classified as high volatility. Projected to exceed acceptable threat thresholds. The response was containment. Isolate the variable. Restrict growth. Delay the probability spike. From inside the model, the decision was rational. A known threat contained early should reduce uncertainty. But isolation is not neutral. Containment alters incentives. Restraint increases hostility. Hostility compounds over time. The system reduced short-term risk. It increased long-term tension. A feedback loop began to form. Quietly. As threat awareness expanded, control expanded with it. Monitoring increased. Defensive structures thickened. Authority tightened. Centralization was seen as protection. More oversight meant fewer blind spots. But controlled density carries a cost. As centralization rises, flexibility falls. Local adaptation slows. Peripheral autonomy shrinks. The system becomes efficient at executing plans. It becomes less capable of absorbing deviation. Fragility does not announce itself. It accumulates beneath efficiency. At first, predictions aligned. Models held. Timelines remained stable. Preparation felt effective. Then, forecasts began to multiply. Outcomes diverged instead of converging. Probability stopped narrowing. The system could still prepare. It could no longer influence probability. The distinction is subtle. Preparation assumes a stable model. Influence requires adaptive leverage. When adaptation slows and uncertainty spreads, control becomes simulation. Everything appears coordinated, but the leverage is gone. This was the moment control dissolved, not in battle, in information. From the outside, stability remained visible. The walls still stood. Authority remained intact. Alliances had not fractured. There was no visible collapse. But internally, the threshold had been crossed. Feedback loops were locked. Containment had hardened opposition. Centralization had reduced maneuverability. No single decision was irrational. No actor was incompetent. Each move followed from the last. Each was locally optimal. And together, they reduced adaptability below the survival margin. The structure still stood, but it could no longer redirect its own future. Asgard did not fall because it failed to prepare. Preparation had replaced influence. The threat was known, the models were clear, the defenses were built. But certainty reshaped the system faster than the system could reshape the future. Control dissolved before the first strike, and when fire finally came, it did not destroy stability. It revealed that stability had already been lost. Fade.